I feel like it's been long enough where people don't ask us too much anymore about it, you know, because I always thought that too. I'm like, they're looking at two people presenting as women called Boulet Brothers, but I kind of love it because I'm like, I'm not fooling anybody, you know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of like, just own it. Like, so what, you know?
Oh my God, Yvie, what in the Hagrid is going on? Are you coming here to deliver that I have been accepted into wizardry school?
Yes. Yes,
Happy
Ryan.
spooky season.
Happy spooky season. Yeah, happy. Oh, wait, I forgot. It's cringe when we say that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. The internet is like so meta now that saying it's spooky season is like just so cringe. Because, well, at least among some people, because like when drag queens get around, we're like, oh my God, I'm going ookie spooky. But the thing is, some of these bitches don't know what it's like to be ookie spooky to your core.
And here's the thing. I'm not. If I'm spooky, my spooky season is a combination of watching Twitches and Halloween Town. Like, that's as far as I go into spooky season. And so that's why I feel like it's okay to say spooky. But I didn't know that there's now parameters on being cute and it's celebrating this high Halloween.
I mean, you wouldn't know if you're a Disney spooky.
Honestly, it might align. The reason why I'm even saying spooky is because, like I said, all I watch is like Disney Halloween films.
Wait, so are you not a big Halloween queer? Because legitimately, the rest of us treat this like a second pride.
I mean, clearly, look at you. You look fabulous, by the way. I have no clue what you're wearing, but it works.
Thank you. It's actually a kilt on top of another kilt, a shitty little Gandalf hat, and then this cool wig I made for All Stars. So, you know.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and then.
Which is giving Hocus Pocus tease.
Ooh, I wanted to start with this because my first Halloween costume that I remember was a shitty little wizard costume that my mom and I made together.
Oh.
And it was like really sweet because it was the first time I could find an excuse to wear a skirt. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm a wizard. I saw my friend do it the year before.
And that's, I guess, I never had that moment, right? Like, I've talked about how I grew up like super religious, like, instead of Halloween nights, it was Hallelujah nights going to church. And it was like they would do, you know, their own thing, or there would be a service, or we would just be in the house with the lights off and like not giving candy. You know, like I grew up in that sort of world. And so like I didn't really start to experience Halloween until I was officially moved out of my mom's place in college, and like going to my first Halloween party, and like everybody around me was dressing up being like, oh, I need to figure that out. But I feel like I've always had a connection to like the supernatural. Like I remember vividly being young and like checking out one, I hate naming this, and this is like, there's so many, like, you know, of course, of like the legacy has been burnt down, but I checked out all of the Hogwarts, like Harry Potter books, and I was reading them in my closet and hiding them from my mom to not find them, right? I was reading all of the Twitches books and like really like watching those films or those movies on like, you know, volume 2. And so like I've always been
You've always been secretly
curious.
A little dark.
For sure. I've always been curious about like witches in particular. Like I'm a charmed girl for a reason. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you're saying I dressed up for you today?
Thank you so much. That's why I feel so like at home with you right now because it's not that I don't like Halloween. I've always appreciated the candy.
Yeah.
But I never was allowed to like really celebrate it until my adult years. And even then, I get so overwhelmed by dressing up, I don't know how to do it.
I mean, that's what we all do, you know. Every year, I still repeat the errors of my childhood, where I like think of an idea in May, and I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be really cool. And then, like right at October 30th, I'm like, oh, you know what I should try and do today? I should learn how to sew.
Which I didn't, especially moving out here to LA. Halloween is like, when you said it's like a second pride, like that's literally no joke. Like people go all out, and it does sometimes feel like, from my perspective, like I've done the haunted hay rides. I've done like my friend they've invited me to a haunted mansion, but it's like 140 something rooms. I haven't said I'm going to go yet. It's a Reign of Terror haunted house.
Oh my God.
I am terrified. I don't know if I'm going to say yes or go. And I need to RSVP to say yes. But like 140 something rooms of like pure terror sounds like a girly like me with bad anxiety. I'm going to die. Y'all need to have the ER on standby.
I mean, but that's the thing. Just because there are 140 rooms doesn't mean you got to go in. Like, you could go through like, 5 or 6 rooms and then find something that's meant to scare someone else that you don't give a shit about. Be like, oh, it's a falling fantasy. I don't care, girl. Sit me on the edge of this ledge. And they're like, excuse me, ma'am.
Everything scares me. I really want to do it just to like push myself, right? Like, I think that's the beautiful underlying thing about like Halloween or horror culture is like really pushing yourself and like fulfilling, like going past your fears to really like kind of grow and evolve. I think that's always been a part of the story of horror.
And I think they're like tied in with comedy too. Cause like, bitch, what do you do after you get really scared in like a movie or a haunted house? You're like, oh my God, I thought I was gonna die. Look, he peed his pants. Ah ha 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 ha.
Yeah. Yes, I want to like, one, I know I'm also gonna have serious FOMO. I don't want to miss out on this like moment, this like bonding experience with like my group of friends who are going. But 2, it's just so, it's terrifying. I looked at the trailer video for it and I was like, oh my God, how do people actually do this? Do you do like haunted like experiences during the season? Is that your type of vibe, or are you just a dress up girl?
I actually am more of a do haunted experiences than I am a dress up girl. In fact, I was just talking to somebody else about this, that like I'm slightly frustrated about Halloween in current days. Like it feels like Halloween isn't as fun for me, and it's not because every day is like Halloween, although it is clearly. But for me, it's more that like I feel like Halloween sucks because everybody has to be like one of the 3 same memes that everyone else is going to be. Like this year, we're going to see 8 fucking trillion of the auntie from Weapons or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so sad because like Doug has this great idea to be Sinead O'Connor from her Nothing Compares to You music video. And I was like, ooh, if people don't know who you are, you can just like print out a bunch of tiny pictures of the Pope and then just like rip them up all night, And we tried this on our friends, like a little friend group we were hanging out with, and all of these 30-something faggots were like, I don't really know.
But that's the thing. Like I feel like I've always enjoyed like the pop culture aspect of dressing up, right? Like finding someone or finding like a character or a person that's like really like made its way through culture and everyone wants to dress up as it. But I do see what you mean by it's just like it feels repetitive and it just kind of loses its like charm of imagination. It doesn't feel like you're actually doing anything that is like cool.
I mean, I don't blame the people. Honestly, I think it really is that everybody lives such fractured experiences that like, in the 80s, 90s, whatever, 2000s, everybody knew what movies came out that year. Everybody knew like what songs were playing on the radios or whatever the fuck. And now we all like kind of choose our own experience. So like when something does make it big enough for it to be a talking point, at least on social media, I feel like that's the only way to like really share the joy of Halloween and scare the fuck out of your friends. I want to be a sexy nurse, but I think I just want to dress in scrubs and go to a sex party.
Which sounds like you were planning on doing that anyway.
No. Honestly, what I really do plan on doing for basically Halloween until whenever the fuck it ends is I'm probably going to dive into Boulet Brothers, Dragula Titans.
I mean, perfect moment to bring them up because we were so excited to do something like Halloween themed on Highkey this like October. And we weren't sure what it was giving, but you had the most brilliant idea of like Boulet Brothers. Like, of course. And we were like, duh, that makes sense. And so the fact that we have them coming on the show, literally the OG monsters, the icons. I'm so excited that we have Boulet Brothers on the show. Please stick around. It's about to be everything, bitch.
And super spooky.
Take that, cringe. Okay, heads up, you freaks and geeks. So with this haunted, season that we are in, of course, there was a little Casper ghost that fucked up our tech. But it's okay, because we're figuring it out. So it may look a little different. It may look, a little wonky if you are watching on our YouTube, which you should, because the Boulet Brothers mug is eating and Yvie's costume is kind of iconic. I just feel like, you'll deal with it and you'll just forget all about any tech things that you may see when you are watching this episode. Either way, it's gold.
The Boulets cursed me for calling Dragula girls trash 5 years ago, and it wasn't even me. So,
and that's and you're the problem.
It's actually an old roommate who's the problem.
Okay, enjoy the episode, y'all.
Obviously, we wouldn't be talking to such magical people any month but October, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, okay, wait. Okay, now let's do a proper ass introduction for these ghouls of grandeur. This is like an unusual episode for us to start off with, because usually we don't like let y'all in the house. Like, we make you wait outside while we chat about like our little things. We're like, hey girlies, but the ghost cursed us. So
the ghost actually didn't even curse. I feel like it's a blessing to witness two legends. I mean, when you talk about like Mother Monster, like we love Lady Gaga, but honestly, bitch, these are kind of like Mother Monsters to me. Like, these are the original monsters that I think everyone is probably so excited to see on the screen. Our guests are the architects of Dragula, the reigning queens of horror drag. I mean, for over 2 decades, they've been pushing the boundaries of drag, queerness, and horror through legendary LA nightlife, their music, and their podcast, Creatures of the Night, which is so fucking phenomenal. And of course, their Emmy-nominated TV show, The Boulet Brothers, Dragula. So please welcome the Boulet Brothers.
Oh, what an introduction. Thank you so much.
You deserve.
Right?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
First of all, I am historically, everyone knows, and Yvie is like getting me over into her world of kooky and crazy. But I have never, I'm a Halloween girly, but not like to the extent of you all. Like horror, I cannot watch a horror film. I be the girl that be screaming in the back, being like, oh my God, I'm about to die in 3 seconds.
But that's the best.
Yeah, you're the best type of person to be at the
Who
theater.
wants to watch a horror movie with someone who doesn't get scared? The whole point of making horror is to scare people. So you're the perfect audience.
That's what I would think. I would think it was the opposite. Like, I would think you all, as lovers of horror, which I would love to know where that even stemmed from you two. I would think you are all at the place right now where you're like, oh no, I need people to like get this. Like, not like horror snobs, but I would assume like you don't want no loser like me over there screaming over It the Clown.
I disagree. I think it's just like if you go in like a horror maze with someone and they're very stoic and they don't react. I'm like, you suck. I'm not doing
boring. It's like it's not fun. A part of like the thrill. Sorry to cut you off. As a monster, I'm gonna speak now.
Yes, please.
No,
yes,
but I think at least a part of why I really identify with the monster element of drag, why I've always been like such a fan of Dragula, is there is this sort of monster-esque quality that comes with being a queer person. So like,
absolutely.
Think, you get it already. You know what it's like to be feared and to have to fear the world. Like, girl, it is much nicer to fear some like demons and monsters and bullshit than have to like walk down the streets and be like, oh my God, am I so cunt? It's going to piss someone off.
You're right. I mean, the origins of horror are very queer, right? Like you look at like James Whale, who did like The Old Dark House, The Bride of Frankenstein, all the classics that we love. He was a queer person, you know, and I think we all probably could see ourselves a little bit in the Frankenstein's monster who's getting chased down by all the regular people for being different, right? I mean, we can all relate to that. So I think queer and horror go really hand in hand.
Yeah, not only that, he was out in Hollywood during a time when like that was very looked down upon. No one did that. So brave girl.
Yeah. And so when you all were first, I guess, venturing into it, I would love to know, like, what was the Halloween film or the piece of Halloween culture that like made it, you all say like, yes, this is something that I'm going to start dedicating.
Wait,
my life
real
to.
quick, is it Halloween culture? Is it horror culture?
What is it giving?
We're sort, we're the queens of darkness, so that covers Halloween and horror and everything.
Love.
Halloween, I love. We both love Halloween a lot, and so I don't mind the connection. Definitely not for it. For each of us, it's different, right? So for me, I really identified with black and white horror movies from, like old 40s and 50s kind of movies when I was a kid. And I was always sort of like socially weird, and I just kind of didn't like to be around a lot of people, And so I loved to sit up at night and watch horror movies by myself. And that's what I did. That's probably what's wrong with me, right? But I remember one of my earliest memories was like sitting on my grandparents' couch all by myself in the dark. Everybody went to bed and I was watching Dragula, and I just felt at home. Like I love the creepy spaces and the quiet and the music and everything. Yeah. It just felt comfortable to me for some weird reason. So I've always been into horror. I was always be making up stories in my head. Like I was kind of writing movies in my head when I was a kid. Like I'm waiting for the bus stop and it's raining and I'm like, that scarecrow back there could come down off and and it was like a whole thing in my head. But so that's my origin. Swan, what about you?
For me, it's the drama, right? Like I was a really theatrical kid, but I had a huge imagination, and I don't think that many people knew who I really was. It was that front, that mask that we all wear when we're queer in like a little small town, which is my story. So most of what was happening, most of the magic was happening in my imagination. Like I was the little kid who was like, literally, my room was in the basement, and I would put on my Dracula cloak. Like, we're talking 8, 9 years old, and just turn off all the lights in the basement and just walk from room to room. Like just feeling so cunt with the cape draping. Yeah. And I loved that. So I worked in haunted houses. Like I love fantasy and the darkness that kind of revolves around Halloween, also with the mythology and the magic. Really, that's what I'm attracted to.
So all the fake shit.
Yes.
I would say the magic is the realest part. No shit. If you're a witchy girl like myself.
Like, what do you feel is the importance in, because obviously, bitch, we're never going to get our credit for everything great we do. But I guess I'm curious how you personally feel as artists. Like, how do you remain true to the alternative, the soul of it, while also creating one of the fiercest fucking reality TV shows that's only getting bigger and only getting gnarlier?
Thank you.
Thank you. I think we just stick to ourselves. It's what we like, like it's authentically what we like, whether it worked or not. And I think that's where the magic lies. When we started Dragula, we started it as a party a million years ago. And at the time, we were doing nightlife, and everyone thought we were like, we're the biggest nightlife people ever in the world, and we do all the parties, and that was great. But what came with that, we started very creatively, but the more successful we became, the more we started to get pressure from like corporate clubs and influences, and it got to the point where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, I just realized I'm no longer, doing this for the art of it that just happens to be successful. And now these clubs are depending on me to pay their bills, which, then it becomes pressuring, right? And they're and so we kind of got disgusted with it. We're like, okay, we're either going to quit nightlife completely or we're going to make an event that is purely exactly what we would want. And we don't even care if 10 people come. We're going to be happy with it. And that was Dragula. And we told our friend, because we're like, we wanted to be a pageant. We want to take drag back to its roots that we all grew up on and that we're all familiar with. And
we also wanted it to be like punk rock. We wanted high faggotry. I want a mosh pit. I want monsters and freaks on the go-go box. And that's what we were shooting for.
Yeah. And there was a lot of comedy to it. We wanted it to be like if you mix Rocky Horror with a John Waters movie.
Wow.
So we picked this little leather bar to start it in because I was like, well, we can pack this place easy, right? And I was like, I want there to be leather daddies walking around making these young queens uncomfortable. I'm like, I want the mix. And so that's what happened. But what it turned into this okay, let me back up a little. Our DJ that we hired, he was like, we told him the concept. And he's like, don't do that. It's not going to work. Nobody's going to come. And everybody told us it was going to flop. And I was like, they're such assholes. But I was like, we're doing it anyways. I don't care. So we did it and it exploded. There was like a massive line around the block. It sold out by like 9:15 or something. And the people there were so just kind of fierce and fashionable and they got it. And I was like, it just felt really good. But we've sort of maintained that all along, right? Even when we went into TV, I was like, I don't want to pitch the show because I'm not going to go to Netflix and say, look at this concept of monster drags. They're like, stop right there. What even is that to start with?
Oh, no, explain.
You have to explain them what you like yourself at some point. You're selling you.
I mean, literally, there was this pitch meeting, and we've been to many, but went way back at the beginning, and there was this executive from like E, right? And so we do the whole spiel, and we lay it all out, and she's like, so drag. So
that's
what I mean, as a drag artist, like, what do you do? And I was like, oh my God, this isn't going to work.
Yeah. She was like, well, what do they do? And I was like, get us out of here. Like right now. I was like, this is not going to work. She's like, maybe we could have like Heidi Klum. I was like, you're like lost. You're lost in the sauce. Yeah.
That's why I was like curious about how you still balance ultimately the punk element of what drag is, because I feel that there have been so many people, in fact, so many people who have helped me pay my bills. Thank you. But like, you've worked with like so many people after a certain point, corporations, clubs, whatever it may be, who you get there and then it's like some ally Becky who's like, oh my God, I'm so excited to have a drag queen. Am I yes, right, sister? Or are you okay, diva? And you're like,
did you feel like you were selling your soul at any point?
No, because I react very poorly to that kind of stuff. And I can't hide it. I can't hide it. So if someone comes up to me like that, I'm like, literally, I'm just like, we have to leave immediately. I'm not doing this.
No, like dead ass.
It's true.
Yeah, because go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I tolerate it. Mm-hmm. Yes, girl. Okay, now let's leave.
Girl, that's right. I'm at like tolerate for a second. I'm at like hoping I can get a video clip of it somewhere. And then I'm at like bitching to everybody else in the world about it. And this is that podcast. Half of the prides I've ever worked, I'm looking at you.
I would actually love to know more about. So Dragula has obviously the show has evolved, and I love knowing its roots, and like it's bigger than probably even you all I would imagine. What has it taught about yourself in this process of evolution? Like, how have you all evolved, especially when it came down to the queens that you were giving a platform to and the work that you were now putting out into the world? Because it's not saying the party didn't matter in its origins, because it did. But it feels like it holds so much more weight now that it's like 7 seasons deep in, or like more than that now?
It's 7. And then we have two Titan seasons and then another spin-off film, which was Resurrection.
Like, word. Like, that's what I'm saying. That it has so much now cultural power. Mm-hmm. How do you all think about that as like time is, community evolves, language evolves, and just the inclusion of making sure that this thing that you all creating is hitting and feeling like it's representing not everyone, but everyone feels like home.
I mean, I feel grateful right now because if you I don't know if you pick up like the context clues from like where we come from and how we see things, we very much do what we want to do, you know. And we'll listen to the fans a little, but I think when you start listening to other influences, just like those corporate people that used to run the clubs, they start leading you astray. You're going down a road that you would never have gone down, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm lost. So we walk to our own beat kind of thing. And it's moments like when you see comments on an episode on the Shudder app, or people that come to the live shows and share what the show did for them, or a lot of times it'll be, this show got me through a really dark period. I watched people overcoming all of these things that they didn't think they were capable of, and that made me believe I could be capable. And some of them are on a level very serious, like medical issues. And it to me, it kind of breaks my heart, but it also fills me with like this energy at the same time, because it makes it feel like we're doing something. It's much larger than what we wanted to do. We wanted to create a fierce, cunty representation of like some punk drag and like the dangerous side of queer culture, you know? But it has a broader reach than that.
I do want to say too, like add to that, you know, it is about sticking to ourselves, but also we work. Like, we are worker bees. And I mean, like, we will work ourselves into the ground to make our dream happen. You know, you got to remember, the drag is like 10% of the time we spend making everything, because otherwise we're doing pre-production meetings and directing and writing and producing and making deals and
Zoom
all that kind
calls.
of stuff. What's that?
Zoom calls.
Yeah, exactly. But
I know all the non-fun things. It's like, oh my God, I'm just trying to look pretty and glamorous and do the thing that I'm doing. But yeah, it takes a lot of work.
Well, it reminds you know, when that's the sort of the origins of where we came from, because we used to work in publishing. So we did like comic books and magazines and all that stuff.
Really?
Yeah. And then we did, I was like an editor of a magazine when I was 21 years old. And
y'all are so kind. This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah. So we're worker bees, you know, and I think that's the difference. Like, when we used to do clubs, it wasn't like, oh, this is a drag queen that's throwing a club. No. This is a producer throwing a club who then puts on a drag queen outfit and goes out and hosts it. That's not the same thing.
That's the same thing. That's the way that we view ourselves in the context of like the horror space too. Like, we look at ourselves as horror hosts and like iconic figures, Halloween, horror, that genre first, and then drag is like second. And I think that's actually something that a lot of people see, because we'll get these straight couples that come through and they come to the live events, or, you know, they'll meet us on the street or whatever and just say like, oh my God, my wife loves you. I introduced your show to her. And more times than not, they're like tatted up with like beards and leather. And it's like, it has an appeal that crosses over.
Okay. You just said a lot with that little bit there, though, because you just said right there that Dragula fans and my fan base are the exact same thing. We've already talked about people crying at you at shows and being like, oh my God, you helped me and my mom and my dog with cancer, and that other dog that we lost because he started eating the dog with cancer, so we had to put him down. Like, you get that aspect of it, but you also get straight boyfriends covered in tattoos. Just to call it like it, like they're like, yo, I never was into drag before, but dude, you're like my favorite, man. And they like fist bump you.
Yvie, are you like a straight man all of a sudden? Like, that gave me chills.
I'm a straight whisperer. Like, it's I'm not proud of how well I could play straight if I wanted to dedicate like my 24/7 to it. But if this like scary future comes, I'll see y'all in the streets.
Can we actually talk about, I love that we're talking about the fans though, because in some ways, I feel like these, like, especially the fandoms, they're basically like cults.
Yes.
And I wondered, what is y'all's relationship to cults? Like, I mean, they're in proximity to me, if I'm being quite honest. Cult life is basically like another sub-segment of horror life. And I just wonder, how have you thought about one being like considered, you know, your fandom being considered a cult kind of following? And also, do they freak you out? Do cults freak you out?
Well, I want to say this about cults. They're mainstream now, right? Because we have the alt-right and Trump and all this stuff. And that is that is legitimately a massive cult that we haven't seen in decades. You know,
it's like you thought Scientology was scary. No, meet a MAGA supporter.
Yeah, when someone becomes so sort of iconic to your cause that they can do nothing wrong and they can literally shoot someone in the street and you forgive them or make an excuse from them, that's a cult right there, like 100%.
Yeah.
With our fans, they're very passionate. You know, I think it was a long road to kind of learning how to deal with them, because I think when the show first came out, we're so close to it, we put so much of ourselves into it, and we didn't know, you know, that every TV show gets attacked all the time by its fan base constantly, and it was a lot to take in at first. You know, like I was like, what is wrong with these people?
Yeah, because you know why? Because we poured so much of ourselves into it. When they attacked the show or criticized the show, I think it took us a minute to learn, we don't take that personally, because what it felt like is that they were attacking us and criticizing us.
Yeah. And I think I've gotten so far past that. Lots of therapy, lots of learning and experience, and now I don't care, honestly. But I did.
Tons of work and support from me too.
No, definitely. Well, you're good at it.
She said, "You better clock me, please."
She never cares. Like, she's like,
I don't care.
Let's go
I don't
do this or that.
fuck.
I'm like, what? You don't care? They're saying this or that. She's like, I really don't care.
Oh, see, I'm so jealous. I care so much that I need to like let it out somehow, even if it's just like going and not even like responding with like a ridiculously mean comment, just making a point that's too eloquent for them to give a shit because this is Instagram or something, and then them being like, "See, you're lame and square," or I go masturbate. One of the two.
Which honestly, why not do both at the same time?
Oh my God, yeah.
Wow.
You'll never understand the depth of this comment because you can't even get past a fucking 2-inch phone screen, you piece of...
Highkey.
How much joy do y'all get to see watching your monsters grow out in the world? Because I feel like that's got to be some cool experience to see all of these people who have bonded under literal torture in your case.
Crazy.
I know some shows like people bitch about it's torture. That's actual torture.
I said, what in the fear factor is this show? Extermination, please.
Interestingly, I would say for the most part, like psychologically and respect as a human being, I think you get a lot more of that on our show than you do on other competition shows that push the boundaries. And you got to imagine these people know what they're signing up for. There's, like you said, 1 million seasons of the show at this point. So they know if they come on the show, we might throw you off a bridge or throw a knife at you or whatever the hell, alligator shaving you. I don't know what, whatever it might be. So I'm like, don't feel too bad for them. They knew exactly what they were signing up for.
Oh, I never feel bad for them. I never do. You could be like, we're actually playing Russian roulette today. It's you and your grandmother. And I'm like, they signed up for it.
But my thing is, have y'all actually jumped off bridges? Like, have you actually done, like, are you... have y'all done these things as well?
Originally, like for the first couple seasons of the show, very much like other drag shows, we based a lot of the stuff that you see on Dragula from our experience in drag. And our experience was not, 5, 6, 7, 8 at Hamburger Mary's or a gay pride event. Like we were working in like kink and S&M clubs, and it was like, super punk rock, or we would do like these desert festivals where people literally had cars and guns, and it was like Mad Max,
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that Thunderdome fight you see at the end of season 2 where they're in that big thing, we went there, we hosted that event for 3 years before we started Dragula, and then brought them out there. So a lot of like the piercings and the tattoos and that fighting and like this type of stuff, it came from our history. Now I never ate brains, and we had to get creative. We have to get creative.
And I was gonna say, where did the line stop? Was it there? The musical?
Well, then we were doing too much. Like we were doing all the production. Like Dragula.
Yeah.
Until recently, Dragula would need 10 months of our time every year. Like we're either planning it, shooting it, or editing it, and then promoting it. And it really, now it's expanded and we have support. But for a while, we were doing all of that. So we weren't out jumping out of planes and creating new experiences. So some of the later stuff we haven't done.
Did y'all
like
meet?
It's fantasy.
Did y'all meet in the kink scene? Like, cause here's the thing that I gagged over when I found out, like, the more I learned over they not actually brothers, y'all. Yes, they white, but they not actually brothers. And so they are lovers. They have been in a relationship together forever. So like, is that where you all met and bonded through
it's hard to explain. Like the events that we used to throw were very theatrical and fantasy driven, right? So you think about like the vampire ball or this, but there's always an edge of like that gothic like S&M club vibe to all of it. It's just, it kind of comes with the territory. When you would throw these big costume balls, traditionally that was a part, like, latex outfits and just all that sort of stuff. And so that's the space that we came through. But we were coming at it from a theatrical space because our goal was like, we want to create fantasy environments for people to party in. We want it to be like nothing you've ever seen, like what you picture in a movie it should be like, but it never is. We wanted it to actually be that way,
Yeah.
So that's where we came at it from. Yeah.
There was a big stage in the center of the night, and the night would just happen around. It was very dark, and it wasn't serious. It wasn't like someone's in the corner like whipping somebody and flogging and all the kinds of shit like that. It was more about
never is
fun.
Sadly.
It was more about like fun and maybe shedding light on things that people don't necessarily talk about or they shy away from. Anyway, there was a stage in the middle, and 3-4 times a night, the red curtains would open and you'd see like this little fantasy show for like 5 minutes. Then the curtains would close to a song, not quite drag, but it could be anything from like sex on a construction site to a girl giving herself an abortion in a bathroom at the prom to prostitute, a prostitute musical. Like it could have been anything, but it was always kind of sexual.
Well, my thing is, I guess I am so fascinated by you two because it really, I would assume, takes a level of bonding and trust that is developed between you both to really say, one, this is what I'm like into, this is what we're exploring together, but then also like launching into this business and this work and even the same aesthetic that you have. Like, what are some of those like intimate conversations that you had early on in the beginning between you two when you decided to like, hey, I want to not only be your partner in business, but like we're partners all around?
I think that
good.
Are you sure?
I love that they rushed.
Whoa.
I mean,
you go ahead. You
guys are like those fucking Australian twins now. This is ridiculous. Stop it.
The fights happened over latex outfits because I love latex and she hates them, and she gets very sweaty in them. And I think they just look hot on you. We sort of introduced like latex and drag to the scene. Like back in the day, I know like people like Alyssa Edwards would be like, what is that? Can you get me one of those? And I'm like, no. Actually, I did once and she didn't thank me for it. So anyways.
So you're like, fuck that bitch.
That bitch.
No more niceties ever again.
Exactly. No, but yeah, we used to fight about the outfits because I always wanted them to be super uncomfortable and just giant and everything. And so we would fight about that. But as far as working together, we got along great because when we first met, we bonded over like comic books and fantasy. And one of the first things we did with the first couple of weeks we were together, we started making comic books together. So I would write them and she would draw them. And so our partnership as creative people was very natural. And I think that's why it worked for us for business because our focus was on the creative. And we're like, okay, we have to go do all this paperwork, but let's get it out of the way so we can get back and do what we want to do.
I think what was happening, what I was going to say, and it kind of marries what you're saying, is that it wasn't plotted out. We just knew that we had like, we spoke the same language. We were inspired by the same things. We were thrilled by spectacle and by the fantasy of comic books and like super villains and specifically super villain women. We just, always loved the bad guy. Like this is the stuff that we bonded over. And then of course, relationships are work, whether it's a personal relationship or like a business relationship. So of course we were working on our relationship in tandem with being creative together. But then after a time, something just clicked and it was like, I trust this person, not only with me, but I trust their taste, like implicitly. And that creates such a huge power because you have someone that is like your wingman. And then I support all of her creative ideas. She pushes and creates and supports all of my creative ideas.
Yeah.
And then it created this force bubble where it was like, we don't need validation from anything else. We're just going to do us. And that's what it's been.
Is that when you decided to add the incestual characteristics to you? You're like,
So
not only are we lovers, we are
Great
brothers.
question, actually.
Yeah.
Interesting question, but okay, so back when we used to do clubs, our clubs
hold
were
on.
like giant
I used to
circus.
say brother, lover, sister, fuckers. Anyway, go ahead.
Please.
When we did clubs, it was like a circus. And so we had this host character when we first created our clubs. She was a straight woman, but she was like larger than life, and we would design costumes for her and makeup and everything, and just turned her into this fucking drag queen, basically, that people didn't understand that's what we were doing at the time, but it was.
They loved her though. She was amazing.
And so she was the host of our events for a long time. So people thought it was her event. She ended up having to quit and left LA, and we're like, what are we supposed to do? We have to host our own event now. So we decided to come up with this persona, the Boulet Brothers, which was sort of French and circusy, like Barnum and Bailey or something like that. That's where it comes from. So it made sense at the time, what it has evolved into, most people just don't ask, which I appreciate.
Would you appreciate them not asking, or you appreciate me going there?
No, I feel like it's been long enough where people don't ask us too much anymore about it. Because I always thought that too. I'm like, they're looking at two people presenting as women called Boulet Brothers, but I kind of love it because I'm like, I'm not fooling anybody, you know what I mean? Just own it. Like, so what,
But also it confuses people, especially if you're not like in the inner circle or you don't understand like what we're doing, like conservatives, they see us and then they hear our names and it's like, I don't know what to do with this. And that confusion for me is amazing. Like that's the spark of like, think. Like, just think,
Mm-hmm. You're forcing somebody else to take a little bit of time out of their day, even if they don't like the thoughts they're having, to challenge what they're used to seeing.
Absolutely. Which I guess as you are building, I mean, this empire it's already full on going and it's so fabulous. I'm like, I've been getting chills in this entire conversation, but like, Titans season 2, that drops soon. Where do you all envision this next chapter of like the Dragula world and the Boulet Brothers? Like, where do you all want to go next?
They're not the same thing, right? So us as horror hosts and entities is very separate from Dragula. Like this year, for example, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Not Scary Farms, but it's like this huge horror thing, happens every season. Elvira was the horror host there for like 20 years. Wolfman Jack was there before her. And in the 50s, it was Sinister Seymour. And so we are now the horror hosts of Not Scary Farms this year.
Congratulations. That's the one.
Thank you.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
So, honestly, there's been a lot this year in the last year and a half, like Emmys and other shows and spinoffs.
Yeah.
I think that we are, Emmy nominations, but I think that we are most
the nomination
excited.
fucking counts when you actually do your own makeup, bitch. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's right.
Thank you for that. But it's the knots piece that we are so excited about because it's horror, it's thrill rides, it's Halloween, it is theatrical. Like we're really excited about it.
Is that what you all been longing for? Because I would assume people are doing just like me. They package you all together.
Mm-hmm.
But is it exciting to know that the Boulet Brothers are like entering it? I mean, coming after an Elvira is kind of good, sis. Like that, y'all are becoming like, horror figures.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people think of us as, first. I think they think of us as horror characters first. And then they're like, oh, yeah, they happen to be in drag, which, luckily has actually protected us, I think, in some ways. I think with like Drag Race, and they have a lot of different kinds of drag on there, but it's very like female presenting, it's very passable and that whole vibe. And I think it makes people feel unsafe, especially straight people, right? But I think they look at our show and they're like, oh, these people are tattooed up and they're jumping out of planes and shit. It's okay for me to like this. If that makes sense.
They already associate you as weird already. You're already like a guilty pleasure. You know? It's like how I would always be around this one uncle who had like tattoos and piercings. And I was so scared of him until I found his book about tattoos and piercings and saw the devil's face tattooed on someone's dick. And then I was like, I have new fears.
We got stuff to talk about.
That's a transformative moment.
Yeah, I have new fears and kinks.
Well, you said it. I think the piece with what Jack was saying specifically is that when it is like the femme presenting high drag in that way, I think it scares straight people because it makes them think about their sexuality, which I think is like the big boogeyman in America for like a lot of people. Like, you can't talk about sex. We could just shoot people in the neck and everybody will watch it 50 times a day and talk about it and just desensitize completely.
But if you show that female nipple,
are you crazy? Like if you saw a dick, like, wow, oh my God, end of the world. And I think when they see someone monstrous, even though it can be glamorous too, but they're like, it doesn't veer in the sexual lane. You know, they're like, I can take this as entertainment. This is a fantasy character.
For sure.
And it makes them feel safer.
I think too, you look at Elvira. Elvira is a total drag queen. I mean, we talked to her about it plenty of times. It's like, you know, she's all taped up and everything like we are, in corsets and all, you know, makeup, wigs, nails, shoes, the whole thing. She's as much in drag as we are. Any horror host characters are like that. You know, they're always overly done and costumed. And so I think it's relatable for sure. But as far as where we're going, I think we're really trying to find time to pursue our scripted interest, because we have a lot of scripted opportunities for horror movies and shorts and different things, and we just haven't had time to squeeze it in. We are shooting right now a holiday of horrors, like a Tales from the Crypt movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, with our friend David Dasmalchin. We're making that right now. That's going to come out this winter. So that's a step in the right direction. But there's a bunch of other stuff. I think finding time to do that would be good. As far as Dragula, I mean, as long as people love it and it just does what it does and it blows up, I'm happy to be a part of it. I just don't want it to be the defining thing for us, 'cause we have so many ideas.
Yeah, that's
y'all are such good artists. You're so fantastic. I'm very, very thankful we get to kick off spooky season with you.
Thank you.
Honestly, I would have loved for you. Y'all need to be in Practical Magic too. Y'all just give me like crones. Like y'all just give fun witches, and I just would have loved. But okay, we ask everyone on the show our question, which I love. What are you high key about? And it can be literally anything: a person, place, a thing, an emotion. You can be high key about anything. An idea, yeah. What are you high key about?
Like,
mine
what's
is really
occupying
lame.
shit for you?
What'd you say?
I love
There's
lame.
no such thing as lame.
So, you know, our life is very crazy and busy, and there's a lot of interaction from people like tour or people online or whatever. My favorite thing to do is to just be in my garden outside. Like, that's what I'm about. I'm about, like, I have these gothic gardens and we have like rose gardens and shit. I'm out there like hours and hours a day, just like
I said that should be a Martha Stewart.
We're
in the
very
works.
gothic Martha Stewart. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I love our house.
Drag
Like I
Martha.
spend time like redoing the house, working outside, stuff like that. We live in a historic house, and I just love the vibe, you know? So that's what I'm high key about.
I love that.
I love that. Mine's a little more like, I guess, esoteric and kind of emotional. Mine is continuing to just do whatever the fuck I want to do, and inspire other people to do what they want to do too.
Which also I would assume includes shopping at Spirit Halloween, because that's the only place I get Halloween costumes. Please
Oh
tell
my
me if I'm
God.
in the wrong or
Yeah.
not.
Wait, how do you feel about Spirit? What would happen if a ghoul came up like in one of these floor shows and you could see the Spirit Halloween of her look?
If they owned it and it was ironic, it could be kind of awesome.
You could win.
right?
Yeah. That's not necessarily like you're out.
But
kind of
at
thing.
first glance, you cringe.
You're like this bitch, kill her right now.
I can't say that it hasn't crossed my mind in some floor shows before. I'm sure we've had that conversation where I'm like, this looks like a Halloween costume. It's like a bag Halloween costume, right?
Oh, totally.
Listen, some of us just do what we can with what we can while we got it. Okay.
Oh my, Exhibit A.
I was wondering how that was like teetering like that. I couldn't see the top, so I was like, is it dangling from the ceiling? And you're just kind of under it?
No, I'm just hard right now. Swan.
Well, either way, everyone watching and hearing, if this is your first time finding out about the Boulet Brothers, which I hope it is not, just support everything that they're doing, because the empire and the work, it really is beautiful to see, and to like know that you all had such like an incredible backstory, and just everything I've learned about you today. I'm obsessed. Like, please.
Oh, thank you.
Will I watch the show because I'm too scared? I don't know.
You should. It's not that. I mean, I don't think the show is very scary. You just skip the kill scenes at the end, and you'll be fine.
Well, how about we all just go to? I'm like, how about we all just go to like a haunted house together, and maybe I will feel comfortable doing that.
If you all come to town in October, we will take you to Not Scary Farm, and we'll have an amazing time.
You will scream, and I will laugh. And
okay, Yvie, we have to do this. We have to do this. Boulet Brothers, thank you so much for being on Highkey.
Thank you, guys. This was a pleasure.
Okay, so like I came into that situation knowing like I think like bare minimum of what everyone, if you know of them, if you like, but you don't know much, that's where I came into that conversation. And whoa, I don't know if I didn't see the fantasy before, but I most definitely see the fantasy now. Like I was telling you, like they just sort of felt like you meet like Amanda Lepore, which has not happened for me yet, and I can't wait. It will. But like, and you meet like, you know, iconic figures that are just honestly feel like I don't know, like fairy tales, are like they have like they're very unicorn coded. Yeah. And you're just like, are they real? Are they really sitting in front of me full horror geesh? It's just everything. And so I got my life. I hope I wasn't like fangirling all the way out, but who gives a fuck? I enjoyed it. It was really, really cool.
Like the hostesses of horror, the hosts of horror, and like from one unicorn to another. Well, I really, it's such an honor to be able to work with them, you know, especially because there is this like big unspoken like I wouldn't even say beef. It's just like there are multiple drag competition reality shows, and it's really really dope for like them to be able to keep true to their vision, to like understand what's going on in the culture and like how to feed it, but to remain true to their arts, their hearts. And I was looking for something spooky for the last one, but all I got was farts.
Honestly, I feel like that's the spookiest you could have gone, is farts.
It's that time of the show. Now that we've kicked out our ghouls, let's confess our love to each other as the final girls here. Let's talk about our high keys.
Let's do it.
Do you want me to start, or do you want to?
I actually would love for you to start.
Okay. Well, this is the only time you will get not directly a horror thing this month from me, because I really have to tell people, I'll keep it quick, but go see one battle after another. Like,
check.
You will be on the edge of your seat like it's a horror. It's gonna have feelings. You're gonna cry. You're gonna fart. And if I have to do a horror Highkey, I'd say go watch the Boulet Brothers Dragula Season Titans 2 on Shudder Plus.
Which, here's the thing, we are going to talk about it. I am prioritizing to go see this damn movie, because the way that you came back and was just like, I need everyone to see this movie, it immediately got me. And I've been watching some press tour stuff with like Regina Hall and Tiana Taylor, and I've been watching them. The press has been amazing. And so I'm like, I need to go see this movie. Like, yes, Leonardo DiCaprio is like the star and all over the posters, but I heard that those three black women who are, I can't remember the other girls' names, those are the actual stars of that film. So I'm going to see it so we can talk about it on the show.
They are. I don't want to ruin anything else, but there's Jungle Pussy, and that is all I'll give away.
Oh, what?
Ryan. Ryan, what are you high-key about?
Okay, so my high key might be a little bit of a downer, but I am high key about y'all better mask the fuck up again. Like, get some masks. And this is the perfect time to do it. Because I just ended a week full of having COVID. And I don't know if y'all think about it, but I'm not saying I thought it was over, but like, sister, boy, did I learn something. And I didn't know I had COVID, and I had COVID for a week. And I'm just saying, high key, get your mask ready. High key, get your vaccines, back in. This is me doing my, like, a healthy, like, a health high key. I just want you to know.
Protect your health.
Yes, COVID is around. So get your shit together and get your mask.
I guess that means it's the time of year for me to stop licking dollar bills.
Well, yes, you shouldn't. Honestly, probably shouldn't have been doing that in the first place.
I gave it a break after COVID. I was like, okay, I understand why this is unsanitary now. But after, like you said, I thought we defeated it. You better believe those sweet, fresh, crisp, whatever the dude on $1 bills went right back into my mouth.
So that's a wrap, huh? Great episode.
Yeah, great spooky, scary. Great scary episode. It's going to be a great scary month. October is going to be fierce with a capital fear.
Oh my God, no, literally with a capital fierce, because I am so excited. We have, honestly, her career has been just everything like low key, not even low key, high key, like scary. The horror has been like a through line. Scream Queen herself, Niecy Nash, will be on the show. I am so excited.
I can't believe it. I'm so pumped. It's about to be a scary episode. No, we got to come up with better words.
I know. There has to be better adjectives. Like, what's going on? But if you like having our show ad-free and, you get early access to it, head over to our Patreon. What is it, Yvie? What's the URL?
It's patreon.com/Highkey.
Work. That was a test.
Which I said in my lowest key for y'all.
Oh my God. I am so obsessed with you. I can't wait for you to show the world how you do Halloween. This is going to be so everything. Get ready. This month is about to be iconic.
Yes. And if you do head over to our Patreon, you get ad-free episodes. That's right. You don't have to hear any of the bullshit that I'm trying to sell to you underneath the words I'm saying right now. You just get ads free and other things we're working on. Otherwise, follow us, like us, subscribe on YouTube, write nice and nasty comments. Tell Ryan what he should dress up as for Halloween. And
please.
We'll see y'all next week.
Oh my God, there's a nipple showing. Bye.